Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome
Yo,
to
yo, yo, what is up, everybody?
welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That's Theo. Baby
What up?
Ichiro. Not
What up?
cashing.
What up? I'm cashing, bitch. $2.
Yo, so early slate was fire.
Bet.
Gotta give some shout outs real quick. Dan won 1500 in the arcade mode.
You have
Uh,
a lot more money to hold up in your picture now, boy.
so congrats to Dan on taking that down. Shout out to Tim Thompson as well. And I know that a ton of Phenoms cashed in the early because all we talked about in the main chat was stack Minnesota and Chicago. And they were low owned and they went off. And bam. If you had Indians, you cashed as well. Also, we can't forget this. Shout out to our own Jeremy George. Brought home 1K. So
You
everybody's
didn't tell
cashed.
me this.
He was in our chat.
God damn it, Jeremy.
Um, Bets continue to roll in. I almost have the presentation done for the Phenom subscribers. So if you're not a Phenom subscriber, I'm sorry, you're out of the loop on the Vegas. So, it's worth it. Promise. And you get to message Theo nonstop.
I'll send you nothing but selfies.
Oh, bet Chad Pinder's out. Um, Damn it. And then the main. What about Boston, man?
Well, I just wanted to say Mike is not on the show tonight because he just flew out to Aaron Judge. But I hate Boston, and tonight was an example why I never stacked Boston, and I forgot that I don't stack Boston today because I stacked Boston.
Got shut down by Nick Pavetta. So we talked about it on the Lock Show. I legit haven't stacked Boston in the last week and a half, and they seemingly have been chalk. At least Ben Attendee and Bets have been chalk for the last week and a half. And of course, the one day I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bite the chalk. Let's do it. That happens. It was great. So the main didn't go as planned. Late night's going good. Bets are still going good. If you stacked Colorado, San Francisco, which we talked about that being the over, all the money was coming in on the over, and the over was set at 11, and the fact that there was still money coming in over that signified good things. So hope you stacked that game. You definitely were cashing either in the main or the late, whichever one you played it in. But yeah, man, good
I
day.
think I think today is another example of not paying too high for your pitcher on FanDuel.
Well, Chris Sale did good. He had 10 strikeouts.
But it's so hard to get bats today. There is not a lot of value.
That's true. So I think that's slate dependent though, right? If the value is there, then it's worth it. Because Chris Sale balled
Well,
out, but
Chris Sale he hit value, but like Kershaw, he's not worth it this season. He doesn't even have a 10K per nine yet this
I
season.
I agree with that on Kershaw.
Uh, Scherzer, I don't know. So slates like these, I'm just like,
Well,
I'll stick to my nine and under guys.
I think Scherzer has mad potential, right? Like he can hit value and go off at any time. But the problem is on this slate, I think there's guys that are worthy of paying down to today, so you don't necessarily have to pay for Scherzer.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's talk about Arizona, Philadelphia.
Bet.
Arizona, as we know, is a complete 180 team when looking at home away splits. They have almost twice as many runs scored at home, Their hard contact is 10% higher at home. Their home run per fly ball rate is 33% higher at home. They strike out almost 25% on the road. Their WOBA is almost 100 points lower on the road. Not a lot of good things to talk about Arizona on the road. And we have Aaron Nola, who's actually, I think, one of the better pitchers. Well, he's extremely cheap tomorrow at 6,300 on DraftKings. 7,500 is, not the best price, but Arizona, with as bad as they are, with the strikeout rate they have, I could see Aaron Nola being in play.
I like Aaron Nola, but you already know who I'm playing tomorrow, 100%. But I want to say Patrick Corbin, he might be a little bit sneaky because I think gives up a lot of home runs, but Phillies hit a lot of ground balls, so I think that cancels each other out. And Philly, not very good against lefties.
No, yeah.
Except for, of course, they have the power, Altair and Joseph against lefties, but outside of that, nothing really.
They're home run or nothing. If they're not hitting a home run, then they're out. So
yeah,
that's kind of the risk you take when pitching against them. Your guy may give up a couple home runs, but if he doesn't, Philly's not.
Corbin doesn't give that hard contact.
Yeah, Philadelphia is very much a. They're not a station-to-station team. They're not going to move guys up, to second to third and drive them in that way. They're not going to manufacture runs. It's home run or nothing. So, St. Louis, Baltimore. We got Carlos Martinez and Kevin Gausman.
Kevin Gausman is terrible.
He is.
Well, all Baltimore pitchers are terrible.
I don't know that I want to stack against him, though. I know how bad he is, but he just... St. Louis is not the best team. I don't think they're the most stackable team off the top of my... Or at first glance, I should say. I think Matt Carpenter, who's hit lefties well this year, he's on a hot streak as well, is in play. Maybe Dexter Fowler, but other than that, I don't think I stack deep on Cardinals.
I've been wanting to like the Cardinals so much, but that offense is just missing something. Like if they got one,
like a Matt Adams,
I don't know, like a Matt Adams in that lineup, I would love stacking the Cardinals, but they don't like Matt Carpenter is their best power guy, and they lead him off.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I think Matt Carpenter in the leadoff spot is going to continue to be a great one-off play. I could see on FanDuel. I don't think Dexter Fowler's worth 4,400 on FanDuel. I'd rather pay for Steven Piscotty. And then Jed Gorko is down to 3K on FanDuel. That could be an interesting play.
He's been super cold, I think, for a few games. I think 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, no, I know. And his price is indicating it, but that doesn't mean you can't buy low. Guys will break out of it. I'm not saying he will tomorrow, but potential buy low option. And then looking at Baltimore, I'm not stacking against Carlos Martinez with this team. They are not hitting the ball well at all. They got shut down by David Holmberg and the Chicago bullpen today. No, thank you. I I actually think Carlos Martinez is in play with his high strikeout rate. Baltimore, they strike out. I know they strike out more versus lefties, but Carlos Martinez is an elite K pitcher. There's nobody on Baltimore that I want to stack with.
I love Carlos Martinez, and I love his Instagram page.
Theo taking it to... Theo's making Instagram relevant on the Fantasy Phenom. Chicago and Pittsburgh. We'll see if they continue to lead off Anthony Rizzo. Trevor Williams... He struggled versus Miami, but was pitching well or decent before that. Chicago, do you think they're putting it together right now? Do you think they're on one of their hot streaks?
I think they're figuring out that lineup.
Yeah.
I really like that first day I saw Rizzo leading off. I loved it right away. He's been tearing it up in that leadoff spot. I think Madden's going to stay there until he has to change it. And I don't think it's going to have to change it because Rizzo's an on-base guy, which is what Matt is looking for, and he's also one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, 2 straight games of the leadoff home run. Obviously, they had today off. But
And Ian Happ is flourishing hitting behind Rizzo too.
that's true, yeah. His price is starting to climb, too, 3,200. Not exactly excited about that. I loved him at 2,800, but we'll see. Jason Hayward,
I think just putting Rizzo at the top of that order is just affecting everyone.
kind of spark.
Right when that happened, it seemed like the rest of that lineup, everything just fell into place.
What do you think about Jason Hayward for 2,900 on FanDuel? If you bet,
I like Jason Hayward this year. He's showing he just looked a lot better at the plate this year. Seems like he's hitting for more power, a little bit more average.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I think he could be a nice play tomorrow for a cheaper price. And then Javi Baez, if he plays 2,200, Kyle Schwarber's back down to 2,600. Love Kyle Schwarber. If they might hit him in that 6 hole again, which they've been doing. I think that's a perfect spot, in a run producing spot as well. So if he's there,
Yeah, could you imagine a Schwarber Rizzo wraparound if they bat him ninth?
That would be, and then Happ at the 2.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Pittsburgh. I mean, I think Eddie Butler can be attacked, but I don't know I don't know if Pittsburgh is stackable.
At this point of the season, I know the teams that don't hit home runs now. Boston, St. Louis, Pittsburgh. I'm not playing them anymore. I'm done losing money with these teams that play station to station.
Yeah, Pittsburgh versus righties averages under 10% home run per fly ball rate. So 1 in 10 of their fly balls end up in home runs, and then you factor in that they have a lower fly ball rate. So those obviously multiply. You're not looking at a good home run percentage, and common eyesight will tell you that, but stats back it up. Chicago, White Sox, and Toronto. Joe Biagini gets the White Sox tomorrow. I think this is an interesting play. His K percentage has held even with him coming out of the bullpen and going longer into games. I know that was a concern of will the fatigue set in, but his K percentage is still holding true. He's not pitching bad at all this year. He's not allowing a lot of hard contact. His StatCast numbers still look nice, low fly ball rate, and Chicago is a much different team versus righties than they are versus lefties. They murder left-handed pitching and just get mowed down by right-handed pitching. A strikeout rate of almost 5% higher versus righties. Much lower average, almost 50 points lower, 60-point lower WOBA. I think there's a lot to like about some Biagini tomorrow.
You saw even Chris Tillman keep the White Sox in check for 6 innings today.
Yeah.
And he's terrible. Chris Tillman only leaves 60% of runners on base.
Yeah, so 4 out of 10 are coming around to score. Yeah, and the White Sox couldn't capitalize. Willie Garcia left the bases loaded twice, striking out. But it's another story.
So I think Biagini's going to have his way tomorrow.
I like Biagini, I do.
How much is he on FanDuel?
Let me look. What do you think about stacking Toronto against Quintana? I think
lefties is the side that gives them trouble. If you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd probably go with Pilar Donaldson and
Donaldson,
one of the first basemen.
I kind of like Morales more tomorrow for the cheaper price. Donaldson can kill lefties. That's not an issue. And then Morales is actually a better hitter from the right side. So I look at that as a 2-man. I don't think I stack, but I do like that 2-man. And then
you don't like Pilar?
I do. I don't know if I want to pay $3,000 for him. And then
that's super cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. And
for a leadoff guy hitting right in front of Josh Donaldson, who kills lefties.
Yeah, that's true. I could see a Pilar Donaldson, but the guy I'm really looking at, and I know he's cold if he plays, is Russell Martin for 2,300.
Bet.
So that's a guy I'm looking at.
Good catcher punt.
Yep. Dwight Smith Jr., if he plays tomorrow, is 2K on FanDuel, 2,400 on DraftKings. That could be a nice punt as well. Prospect that they brought up, obviously, to fill Ezekiel Carrera when he went on the DL. Washington and New York. Washington gets Steven Matz tomorrow. And New York, Max Scherzer is going to make another start there. Earlier this year, he did give up 5 earned runs. 2 home runs to Michael Conforto, who actually has extremely good history off of Max Scherzer. If I'm not mistaken, he has 4 career home runs. It might be 3. But still, regardless, to have that any sort of dominance at all against a pitcher like Max Scherzer, and he's cheaper in price if he plays tomorrow. I don't know if he will, but he's 2,700 if he plays.
Can they just trade Conforto to the Mariners already? I mean, he's from Oregon. He went to Oregon State. Just trade him to the Mariners. God, they're just letting an all-star sit on the bench. But I don't know. I had to look into the BVP because I didn't even know Mets killed Max Scherzer until you told me earlier.
Well, they had to start. Travis D'Arnaud, if I'm not mistaken, actually hit 2 home runs off of him in that game. And then Conforto hit the other one. I'm pretty sure all 5 of his runs came off home runs. 2 to D'Arnaud and 1 to Conforto. Or maybe it was 2 to Conforto. I can't remember. I just know he didn't have his best start. I believe he still struck out like 9 batters. But there's also been...
He's always going to get his strikeouts.
Yeah. And he's always also had a ton of starts where he's dominated the Mets. So it goes back and forth.
Well, I really like the Nationals tomorrow.
Yeah.
National righties, Zimmerman and Rendon.
Yep.
Run Weeders if you want.
Also, Josh brings up a good point, and the sheets will tell you that Mets struggle at home. Their batting average is almost 40 points lower. Their WOBA is almost 50 or over 50 points lower.
And they score 1.5 less runs a game at home.
Yep.
I think they score 6 on the road and 4.5 at home.
For what it's worth, I do not like Trey Turner tomorrow. If he kills me, so be it. But he's batting under 200 this year versus lefties. For whatever reason, he cannot hit lefties. And at 4,500, I'm not paying that price for him. I'll pay Ryan Zimmerman 41 and Anthony Rendon 36. Those are 2 prices I can get behind.
So, does Steven Matz throw changeup?
That's what I'm going to go look at right now because Anthony Rendon. Steven Matz throws a changeup 10% of the time, and it's awful. He throws a fastball 67% of the time.
I love that.
And the Nationals kill fastballs.
Oh, yeah. Too bad Bryce sucks against lefties.
Yeah, he started out the year so good versus him, too. Would you play Mets versus...
I don't know, man.
Obviously, if Drupal Cabrera won't play, it'll be...
I don't think that's a gamble you take on a 15-game slate.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. Not against Max, so I'm with you. I'm off it.
Maybe if it was like 6 games.
And then Los Angeles, Cincinnati. I am definitely looking at some Travis Wood. I know, so Cincinnati is another team that has extreme splits in terms of home and away stats. They kill it at home. Something just dropped outside my house. I don't know what it was, but you heard that?
Yeah, I think somebody's trying to kill you.
Probably. Fuck it. They dominate at home, but Alex Wood is on another level this year. There's no way you'll find me stacking Cincinnati tomorrow.
God, I wish it wasn't Alex Wood because I love stacking my Reds.
Bro, on 21% hard contact, under 20% fly ball, and a 30% strikeout rate? Dude.
I'm not saying stack the Reds, but if there's anybody that could get to him, it's the Reds. I personally think.
So who would you stack? Because I think the Reds have been cold AF. They just got shut down by some Padres.
Well, you just said, look how bad they are away from.
I know, but Alex Wood is better than any pitcher they faced on that road trip, and I know home away, but
Padres are turning it up.
there they are.
It wasn't just that series against the Reds.
With those recent call-ups, you're right.
But I like my regular guys. Cozarvado, Duvall, Suarez, Schebler.
By the way, worth noting,
Scotty Shebs.
Yeah, people are gonna sleep on Scotty Shebs on FanDuel. Dude has been killing lefties this year.
And he's like super cheap power every day.
Yep, 2,900. For those of you that have the sheets, you'll see. You go look at his stats versus lefties. You'll see that he kills them. I don't advise stacking against Alex Wood with a lefty, as Alex Wood has not allowed a home run to a lefty all year. But I guess if you want to be contrarian and maybe buy that the Reds are gonna, get to him at home, I guess you can take that risk. I personally won't, at least not at first glance. If I change my mind, I'll definitely let you guys know. But nothing indicates a red stack for me right now.
I wasn't saying stack the Reds. I was just saying, if there's any team out there that could get to him, I could see Reds at home or Diamondbacks at home.
For sure. Tampa Bay and Detroit, we know Tampa's struggles versus lefties are legit. Their WOBA is 50 points lower. Their home run per fly ball is 33% lower. They strike out a lot versus everybody, but their average is 223 versus lefties this year. Now, Daniel Norris, though, is not been good at all. He's given up almost 45% hard contact on the year. Hard contact to both sides of the plate. I think there are some batters on Tampa that can get to him. Mainly, I'm looking at Steven Souza, Logan Morrison, who continues to crush lefties for what it's worth, and Derek Norris at 2,500 as a catcher if he plays.
Well, I wish they would play Kobe Rasmus against some of these lefties.
He actually has good numbers in limited sample size versus lefties this year.
I know, but
they won't play.
I can tell by the way their manager sets up their lineups that he's not a analytical guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't look at the sabermetric side of things.
He's like, oh, righty versus lefty.
Yep. He's like Jeremy. But what about Detroit?
Yeah, that's where I'm looking, man. Against Erasmo.
Alex Avila.
Yep.
Fire him up.
66% hard contact versus lefties. Versus righties, and Erasmo Ramirez gives up 40% to lefties. That's a match made in heaven. JD and Justin Upton are both sub 4K tomorrow.
Alex Presley punt.
Yep. Nick Castellanos continues to stay hot.
I really like Tigers in this game.
Side note, why is Victor Martinez still batting cleanup? We were talking about that before the show.
Because I was playing MLB The Show, and I had to trade him. I was trying to get some prospects for Victor Martinez. And we're like, why is this guy still batting cleanup when he's 38 years old? He has, no bat speed left.
All he does is hit double plays every day. There's nothing more frustrating than having JD Martinez in your stack, and you see that two men are on with no outs for Victor Martinez, and a ground ball double play, guys on third with 2 outs now, and there goes JD Martinez's RBIs. Nothing more.
Do you know how much Victor Martinez should not be batting in cleanup? Is that every time I see Miggy come up and get on base, I'm like, oh yeah, JD can drive him on. And then I see Victor come up, and I'm like, God damn it.
Double play, yep.
I'm like, I think the offense could be even better than it is if they moved.
They just need to move everyone up and put down to 8.
Move Victor down. Yeah, move Victor down to after Castellanos.
Yep. Miami, Atlanta. So I know some people are talking about Newcomb with obviously how he performed in his last start versus Miami. I don't know that I necessarily want to go there. I know he looked really, really good in his first start, but Miami has been hot, and I think they can do some damage to a lefty.
They have crazy home runs per fly. I think the best, right? On the
20%. 20% of their fly balls end up in home runs versus lefties.
amazing. All that means to me is give me Giancarlo, give me D Gordon, let me get some Osuna, let me get some Real Muto. Some of the cheap guys, Riddle, Bohr, or not Bohr. Bohr's that Moore.
Yeah.
Moore. And Newcomb, his numbers are skewed because he pitched against the Mets.
I believe it was the Mets. Let me make sure. It was the Mets or... Yeah, it was. It was the Mets. Yeah, that was a game with Giselle. So.
Lefty against the Mets, so always throw that start out for the lefty.
What about, are you looking at Atlanta or Australia at all? I kind of, I don't know. I think I'm looking at some Matt Adams, some Dansby Swanson still, some Rio Ruiz. I like that punt, man. I'm going to go Dansby Swanson still 2,800. Rio Ruiz is 27, 28 on DraftKings. Ender Enciarte is down to 34 on FanDuel, and Matt Kemp is down to 32.
It's in Atlanta, so
Yep.
I want some lefties, man.
Kemp, Ruiz. I still think you got to look at Swanson for how hot he's been.
Kemp's a... You had to... Joe. You know, Swanson, Ruiz, man, can drive him in on bomb.
Yeah.
Out to left where all the bombs go in the ATL. I love Matt Adams, and I think Marquez has been on fire, right?
He has been hitting well, but yeah. But
it seems like it. So I might run Marquez too.
Well, what about this? Ender Enciarte is 34, Marquez is 33, and Matt Kemp is 32. I think I'd rather play Kemp over Marquez.
I don't know, man. Kemp's been cold.
Dan Straley has allowed one home run all year to a lefty. He's actually a reverse split guy. Allows more hard contact, more fly balls, more home runs to righties. I don't know if Marquez is that guy that I pay when I can get Matt Kemp for $100 cheaper.
I don't know.
So something to think about throughout the day.
I played Matt Kemp. He got me like 3 points.
Yo, Tyson Ross is back tomorrow. I used to love watching this guy. I used to love watching this guy pitch in San Diego. Career kind of took a downward turn, got injured. Now he's back with Texas. Made some rehab starts. And then on the other side, you got James Paxton. And look at what Texas' strikeout rate is versus lefties. 27%, a 223 average, a 285 WOBA.
I'm going 100% James Paxton tomorrow.
We talk about the power. Most of it for Texas is on the left-handed side. James Paxton has not given up a home run to a lefty this year. 16% hard contact to lefties. So I'm with you, man. I love Paxton. And that was the guy we were talking about in terms of you might be able to pay down from Max Scherzer tomorrow.
Yes.
I know that Texas is a hitter's park, and they perform better at home. That is worth mentioning.
Well, you can't hit home runs when you're missing the ball.
Yeah, elite strikeout rate. So I'm with you, man. I like James Paxton a lot. Tyson Ross, I don't know if this is going to be a warm homecoming for him, or homecoming welcome back, I guess you could call it. Seattle's been minus today with Berrios. Hitting the ball well. Haniger has been on fire. Zanino's been hot. Ben Gamel.
Those 2 series with the Twins turned the Mariners' stats from red to green to dark green.
Yeah. There was so many runs scored in that series.
I feel like almost every game except for today's and last week's against Gibson was like all 10 runs each team.
You know what made me laugh? I was listening to the Minnesota announcers today, and they were actually talking up the Seattle bullpen, saying that you guys had a good bullpen. That gave me a good chuckle.
Pretty sure we probably have the worst bullpen in baseball.
I don't know. The Nationals have a pretty bad one.
No, ours is way worse. I think our bullpen has blown probably half of our
Games.
more than half of our leads.
That's fair.
And then I'm just like, we could be right there with Houston if we had a good bullpen. So Mariners always jump out to leads, and then bullpen comes in. And I don't want to talk about it.
We got Cleveland, Minnesota. Obviously, Clint talked about Nick Turley. Didn't have the best start versus the Giants last time. I thought he was worth a punt for his price. He is still cheap. And if you value, Cleveland did hit Rich Hill hard today, and he's a lefty. I don't know that I play Nick Turley. I don't know if on a 15-game slate, I don't know that I necessarily want to stack Cleveland, though. It is worth mentioning, if Nick Turley doesn't go deep into this game, Minnesota's bullpens, as evident from the last couple series, is one of the worst in the game. So Cleveland can get to the bullpen, they might have a shot to do some damage late in the game, but that's a risky stack that you're betting on.
And I was talking to Kyle before we went live about Indians against lefties, and I was saying it might, with Rich Hill today, the early season struggles against lefties could have just been unlucky. Because if you look at all their numbers besides their WOBA, everything is pretty much equal lefty versus righty. So I'm interested to see how that goes for the rest of this month, see if it balances out, or if they remain, like maybe today was just an exception to the rule.
I think you can also put some stock into the fact that Rich Hill is not the pitcher that he was, last year or the year before, whenever he found it?
Well, this is his worst season in the past 3 years.
Someone asked today, is Rich Hill on the decline? And you got to remember the dude's almost 40. Like, you don't just figure it out at 38 and all of a sudden you're a Cy Young pitcher. I think very much that year was a flash in the pan, and I don't put much stock into it. I don't think Rich Hill is the pitcher that he was in that 1 year. He was
never. It was 2 years. It was 2 years.
He was never that guy before. So
he was never before, and he's not anymore. Yeah. And he's so old, he looks like somebody's dad just playing baseball.
What about Carrasco versus Minnesota?
I don't know, man. Minnesota crushes righties.
They do.
And this last series against Seattle, I know Carrasco's better than all those pitchers because King Felix didn't play, but man,
their home run, their power numbers are staggering.
I know, it's scary because I didn't even think. I remember when they built that stadium in Minnesota, it was a pitcher's park, and now it seems like there's balls flying out of there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'd much rather play Paxton than Carrasco.
Yeah, if it was a shorter slate, I would take the gamble on Carrasco, but there's better options today.
Agree. Boston, Houston, you got Drew Pomeranz and Mike Fiers. Mike Fiers, for whatever reason, decides that he's going to be a good pitcher the last 3 games. Pair that with the fact that Boston doesn't hit home runs. They put a lot of weak contact on their fly balls. So when they do hit them, they're not going anywhere. Theo's mentioned it many times how Boston doesn't hit home runs.
They like to hit ground balls up the middle.
I don't know that Mike Fiers is... typically, we've talked the last 3 times he's played, that stack against him. I don't know if Boston's that team to stack tomorrow. I think there might be some chalk with him, although Andrew Benintendi's price suddenly skyrocketed. He's up to 3,600 now, so he won't be chalk finally. Mookie Betts is up to 41, so thank God.
Why are they going up after a crappy game?
Because
I hate FanDuel.
FanDuel is reacting to what they've been doing for the last week today.
Logical.
We know how that works.
Yeah. I didn't play a Boston stack in forever, and then I finally did today because Betts and Benintendi been killing it, and I felt like everything matched up against Pivetta because he gives it up against righties. So I played Xander also, and then they go out and score 0 runs. And then I'm like, this is why I don't play the Red Sox.
I'm with you, man. I'm not stacking Boston tomorrow. What about Houston versus Pomeranz?
Dude, I have been targeting Pomeranz all year. I love it.
Springer's killed lefties. You got to look there if you're gonna go with Houston.
You gotta go Springer, Altuve, and Correa.
What about Gaddis if he plays?
Well, that's the thing. You don't know if he's gonna play.
I'm just saying.
It seems like they just randomly throw in Gaddis or McCann or both of them and have Beltran sit. So if he plays, I like him.
Yeah.
Especially with that short porch thing they have in left.
I feel it. San Diego, you mentioned how they have kind of figured it out, man. Perala and Cordero have really provided a spark plug for this team.
I am definitely ignoring all these numbers at the top of the page because ever since Perala and Franchi Montana started hitting 1 and 2, it seems like the rest of this lineup, especially Solarte, Myers, and Renfroe, have figured it out. And just like with the Cubs in their lineup throwing Rizzo at top, it just domino effect in that lineup.
Yeah, I like Perala, Cordero leading off. They're still cheap, and then Renfroe and Hedges 29 and 27 on FanDuel. Perala and Cordero 38 and 37 on DraftKings. I don't know if Guerra is the guy that I want to necessarily attack for that price. I think those prices would put me off a little bit, but on FanDuel, they're still too cheap. Austin Hedges at 2,700 is plenty doable. Hunter Renfroe in Milwaukee with that power, plenty doable as well. Guerra also has given up 4 times as many home runs to righties as he has lefties this year, so I'm looking there.
Did they put Franch Montana back on FanDuel?
Yes.
All right. They got my tweet. I was so angry.
What about Sogard, Thames, Santana? We looking there?
I'm looking even deeper. I'm looking at Shaw and Hernan Perez too. Maybe Jet Bandy as a punt.
Or Manny Pena if he plays.
Yep.
I'm with you. Miguel Diaz is bad.
And Brewers, tons of power.
Yeah, let me make sure he's still pitching. I know they didn't have it earlier, and that was who I put on. Yeah, it is. Okay. Still the same guy. Cool. So I'm with you, man. I think a San Diego stack in this park could do them some justice. San Fran and
look at Milwaukee's home run to fly ball ratio at home.
18.37%, almost 1 in 5. Yep.
Beautiful.
San Fran and Colorado. San Fran is the exact opposite. They don't hit home runs at all. They suck everywhere. Home and away doesn't matter. They are barely over the 200 run threshold for the entire year. And Senzatella doesn't give up fly balls or hard contact. I think he could be a good play, actually, on FanDuel more than DraftKings. He's 7,200 on DraftKings. That's not necessarily a punt. And he is in Coors, so I don't know if 7,200 is worth the risk on DraftKings. But 6,500, I think that's a reasonable price if you wanted to get off the higher price guys with moderate K upside. And
the only thing that bothers me about him is he's not a high strikeout pitcher, which means people are putting the ball in play, which is something like even though they're ground balls,
it's still Coors.
It's just a higher percentage of one getting hit in the air and for some reason just floating out of the stadium.
Yeah, it is still in Coors, so it's still risky, absolutely.
And
the Giants did put up 9 runs today, so it's not like they can't do it. It's just they're not known for it.
And Jeff, the Shark, home run problems versus lefties still, just like his whole career. So I love Blackman. I love. God damn it. I don't really like Cargo because he's so cold.
And he's 4K.
For some reason, oh God.
No way
he should. I don't understand why DJ was 34, but Cargo is still up there.
However, if he plays tomorrow, he's 37 on DraftKings. That's
Which
cheap.
one?
Cargo.
Cargo?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe do it on DK.
So that's worth looking at. New York and Oakland again. We have Luis Severino versus the K Happy A's. Gotta look there. I
Oh
know
yeah.
Oakland is a much, much better team at home. And the one issue we know with Severino is his home run problem. He can get wild at times and give up home runs. Oakland averages almost twice as many home runs per fly ball at home. No surprise there. You're going to get Jed Lowry for cheap, batting from the left. Hit his first home run as a righty this year, of course.
When we played Mike Pinder.
Yep. And then and then Sean Manaea on the other side has pitched amazing this year. And the Yankees have definitely hit righties better than lefties. So I don't know, man. I'm looking at a potential pitching duel in this game. I don't know if I stack either side.
I like Severino. That's about it. I think you could play one off Judge just because you know what he can do.
That's fair. I don't know that I. Yeah, I don't think I stack the Yankees, but I don't know. I'm torn, man. The A's are a better team at home. There's no doubt about that.
More power
Yeah, a lot more power.
Against righties.
So I don't know. I'm torn on this decision yet. I don't have a solidified answer. So
Usually when I don't know on a game, I just completely fade it.
Yeah, that's fair. And then finally we have Kansas City and LA. Shout out to that Kansas City stack tonight. If you guys were in the lock show, you heard it.
Bet. Whit Merrifield did his thing.
Lorenzo Cain, Alex Gordon, he hit that first home run, and all of a sudden he's hot.
AF.
So,
I told everybody back in May, Royals are gonna heat up.
Look at what they do on the road versus at home in terms of power. A lot of their other stats are very similar, but they average twice as many home runs per fly ball on the road, and that speaks to, I think, the fact that they have power, but it's extremely minimized in that stadium.
I just love Royals.
Where are you looking at? You think you stack him against Jesse Chavez?
I think you stack everybody against Jesse Chavez. But I was going to say, that's the Royals' numbers on the road, and they don't even play in a true hitter's park until the end of July. So imagine what it could be.
Yeah, this they've loved this Cali trip, man. This has been great for their offense.
And I don't think I forgot who they play, but they play in a hitter's park, I think, literally July 31st.
Wow.
Like the last day of July. So I'm looking forward to that series.
Right.
But what about Angels?
I was gonna say they've been doing well versus righties, man. I know these season stats don't necessarily reflect that, but as of late they've been hitting righties a ton better than lefties. And Ian Kennedy is bad.
And I noticed the thing with Ian Kennedy, at least the games that I've watched, which is like 3 or 4 this year, he will scare me because like those first 3 innings, he won't give up anything.
And then he explodes.
Then out of nowhere, he just gets banged around.
Yeah. No, I think Ian Kennedy's plenty attackable. This guy's not good. Angel stack's interesting. I mean, the common question is going to be who, right? Angels are still the Angels.
I think at this point you just throw in those speed guys and just hope they get on base and get you steals because there's no reason to try to guess on the power.
I mean, you can still look at Albert Pujols for 2,600. That's cheap. But Cam Maben, I think if you're going to stack any Angels, he's got to be there. Cole Calhoun is an interesting guy, 3,400. I can go there. So yeah, I agree. Angels it might be stackable, but you got to find those bats. So where are you going?
Those stolen bases.
That's true. Stolen base. Yeah, I can see that. Anderson Simmons is interesting. All right, where are you going with your pitching tomorrow? Top 3 guys.
I only have one right now.
All right, well, who are your top 3?
James Paxton. I'll do Severino and C-Mart.
Okay. I'm going to go James Paxton, C-Mart, Max Scherzer. Those are my 3 guys I'm throwing out there as of right now. We'll see where everything changes, obviously, in the lock show. Where are you at with your stacks? What pitchers are you attacking? Not necessarily the stacks because we don't have lineups, but what pitchers do you want to attack?
I think right now I want to attack Newcomb. I might attack Ross because Seattle's hot right now. And maybe Milwaukee.
Okay. I agree with you on Milwaukee. I do like that. I think I want to stack Detroit again tomorrow. I feel like I'm just missing them. Like they're about to do something. So I think I want to stack Detroit. And then I really like Atlanta versus Australia tomorrow, who's not been good on the road, and it's in Atlanta.
Kyle.
What?
Chris Davis, walk-off, single.
2-run?
Mike Chad Pinder scored.
Bet? Oh, no way. That put me in the cash in the late. Let's go. I just won back. So I broke even in the late. I actually was not cashing in the late. I had a stack. All of a sudden, I have broken even, and I just profited on all of my bets except for 3 today. So I am up. I'm doing the parlays and everything. I did a parlay of Oakland and Royals, who were both underdogs. Let's go.
Bet.
Let's go. All right, so who I'm I just said who I'm attacking. Straley. I want to attack Erasmo Ramirez and Milwaukee with Miguel Diaz. So I'm with you, man. All right, well, that is a great way to end the show. Finding out that I cashed on the late and I won some money on the bets. That is super exciting to see.
Dude, Mike wasn't here. He's just out in Oakland winning you money.
Mike just helped me win money with that game scoring run. Shout out to Mike for being fast on the base paths. And so if you guys are interested, of course, obviously you get that free trial, free 7 days to try it out. I promise it's worth it. Jump into the River group where we got it all going on. Chat never dies, so it's always a fun time in there. And of course, you'll get the lock shows where we give our full breakdown, the guys we're at. I'll tell you guys where all the money is going on Vegas, right? Help you guys find those low-owned stacks. Put you on some Twins and some White Sox or some A's stacks. The stacks that nobody has because 80% was on Jordan Montgomery today, and the Phenoms didn't play him. Shout out to the Phenoms.
We played that Royals pitcher, though.
Yep, we played Strom, who did well. Sonny Gray also did well. So, again, if you'll find out where all the money is in Vegas. We'll help you. We'll help you do your thing. Get you some cash. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a wonderful night or morning, depending on when you are listening. We'll be back tomorrow for the Phenoms at 2:00. Well, at least I will. Theo, I think, will be at work. So I'll be back tomorrow doing a lock show, breaking it down, giving you guys my final picks, where we're going, and we'll get to the money line again tomorrow.
Bet.
So have a wonderful night.